Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sins RS. Today we will be discussing how sex ed is taught globally and in Pakistan. We'd like to thank two students from the Lahore School of Economics for taking out their precious time in order to talk about the prevalence of sex ed in Pakistan and around the world. Raina Jannat and Haris Lakari are marketing and media students at LSE, Lahore. Haris, I'd like to start off with you. What is the current status of sex ed being taught in Pakistan?
In the Western world, the sex education is part of their curriculum, but Pakistan, as being a developing country, does not include it in its curriculum because of the views of the religious clerics. And also, I'd like to add that some companies like Always, that are sanitary companies, give education to girls in 6th grade, in which boys do not take part, obviously, but the subject is taught in such a manner that the girls do not understand what they are being taught, and so the menstruation subject is considered a taboo.
And what do you think is the probability of sex ed being taught in Pakistan?
Ahmed, this will hope in the future. The government school in Johi village of Sindh is teaching the female students about sex education, and around 700 girls are enrolled in 8 local schools in the village of Shadabad. Their sex education starts at the age of 8, which covers their bodies, what their rights are, and how to protect themselves. Also, I'd like to add that top tier schools in Pakistan try to teach about sex education, but girls feel shy about talking about this matter to their parents.
Raina, my next question is for you. What is the prevalence of sex ed in Asian countries?
Okay, so Emma, when we talk about the sex education concept in the Asian countries, in China, sex education is often very redundant and sometimes even it's completely absent. But because of the high rate of abortion and STIs in the country, something needs to be done very quickly. When we talk about India, like Pakistan, the culture around sex education is very hushed and it is thought to be something very shameful and embarrassing. And the problem is that the statistics have reported 53% of children aged between 5 and 12 have been a subject of sexual abuse. But because of the hushed culture, they are very confused. They do not know the difference between consent and abuse. The most surprising fact remains that The Guardian has reported India as the best country which has the best sex education program in the world.
And the United States?
When we talk about the schools in US, it is up to the schools that if they want to give the children sex education or not, and it varies in different states on what is the curriculum for the schools. Planned Parenthood reported in 2020 that almost 43% of adolescent females and 57% of adolescent males did not receive sex education before having sex for the first time, which means that the curriculum, even though we know that what we think is that they have the best and they do teach their students about this, the facts report that these things are not as common as we think they are, and the students are not given as much as information as it is compulsory.
Thank you, Raina and Haris, for enlightening us with information that is rarely given out to the public in Pakistan. And that's all for today, folks. Stay tuned and subscribe to the Sins RS Facebook and Instagram page for more information, content on sex education in Pakistan.